with the final Peacemaker, there won't be any other DC Universe projects until Supergirl's release next year, so I thought why not do a look back at the series so far and focus on certain aspects that I found interesting. Let's start with Rick Flag Sr. Starting off with probably the only character who's appeared in all three released DC Universe projects so far, Rick Flag Sr., played by Frank Grillo. I feel like he's what Nick Fury was to the earlier MCU films, as the figure usually shows up in each project, often as a tease and as a connective tissue. Now, by the end of Peacemaker Season 2, he takes a more villainous role, which I've seen some people say is inconsistent with his portrayal in Creature Commandos, but then again, in that show, he got manipulated by a princess who feigned attraction to him, and I'm feeling Lex and his lackeys are doing the same to him by helping him try and get revenge on Peacemaker. Speaking of Rick Flag, so it's clear that the remaining elements from the old DCEU are the projects that James Gunn worked on, namely the Suicide Squad and the first season of Peacemaker, with most of the characters adjacent to those projects making a move over to the new universe. But in the episode of Peacemaker, another Rick up my sleeve had Joel Kinnaman appear as two versions of Rick Flag, the one from the mainline universe and the one on Earth X. And the mainline version mentions his relationship with Enchantress, which occurred in Suicide Squad 2016. Does this mean that that film is canon with the rest of the new DC universe? Maybe not, as that film was a bit reliant on the events of Batman v Superman, but then again, this new universe has embraced retcons like in the comics. So do I think this could leave the door open for Enchantress, or maybe a different version played by a different actress show up, because we saw how Junior's death affected Senior, and maybe Katana as well, considering that she had Rick's back in that film and she can cut people in half with one sword stroke. Just like Mona Lawn, it would be advisable not getting killed by her. Her sword traps the souls of its victims. Maybe not. But also we have Metamorpho show up in Superman, and him and Black Lightning were on the Outsiders, so hey, maybe that could be a good way to introduce them. I also know Blue Beetle is getting an animated follow-up with Zolo Maradreña supplying his role, but it remains to be seen if it will reference the film. But considering that film was pretty much isolated and stood on its own, I don't think there'll be much retconning. At the end of Peacemaker, we saw the formation of Checkmate, with its ranks being made up of the cast of Peacemaker. I feel like we'll be seeing them pop up in other projects. Much like how Rick Flag Sr. is this universe's equivalent of Nick Fury, Checkmate could be this universe's equivalent to S.H.I.E.L.D., making sporadic appearances or mentioned in passing. In the comics, well, Mr. Terrific was also a member, and so was Amanda Waller, Adebayo's mother, and considering that she's getting her own series, that might come into play. With a lot of use of Cloak and Dagger spy work and the topic of power, both real and geopolitical, I'm feeling this first chapter, Gods and Monsters, is influenced by the Catalyst arc of Justice League Unlimited. Just a hunch, but I'm feeling a lot of similarities here. Now it's been noted that DC's fictional countries show up in the universe, Kolistan, Baravia, and Johanapur being the most prominent ones. I expect we'll see more of DC's fake foe states like Bialia, which was mentioned in Creature Commandos, Kurak, Markovia, Geoforce was part of the Outsiders, Kaznia, Vlatava, and so on. With what's been released so far, they've all been under the direction of James Gunn, and all contain his creative fingerprint, so it's going to be interesting to see next year, as most of the projects will be held by other creatives, what they bring to the table. While I enjoy Gunn's work, I do hope we get a variety of different voices being brought into each project. One last thing I want to talk about is how this series' attitude to projects and how they be released. It all feels very fluid. Clayface wasn't part of the original announcement in 2023, only coming about because Mike Flanagan had a pitch, and that film is currently in production. See also the Sergeant Rock movie that was supposed to be made by director Luca Guadagnino, but that's been put on hold, and the Authority might be made in a TV show. It shows there's a fluidity with how these projects are handled at the development stage, unlike Marvel, which has the appearance of it being planned out from the start. So those were some observations about the DC Universe. Is there anything you noticed that I missed? Please comment below, and also like this video and share this with all your friends. Your help is much appreciated. Like what you see here? Then please subscribe to my YouTube channel so you can get more Watch This Space, but also other things such as my short films. Please remember to like and subscribe to the videos you just watched. And also, please check out The Orange Bin, my blog, where I have write-ups of my episodes here, which with links to sources that I mentioned on the show. Also contains some of my old blog posts if you want to see what else I used to do back in the olden days. So please remember to check out my blog and like and subscribe to my YouTube channel.